When you look at the media reports, very little is mentioned about stocks and how they've been running up. In fact, post his election, much of that had been a continuation of a Barack Obama rally that was significant over his 8 years. But the latest catalyst in this 11% or so jump in the Dow since Mr. Trump's election does at least raise the possibility that he might have something to be doing with this. But you never see it in media reports, more fixated, and maybe because Donald Trump has made it an issue on things like crowd sizes and all of that. To Daily Caller News Foundation editor Katie Frates. Katie, what do you think of that? That this is actually the president's doing. He wanted to revisit this issue, the crowd size issue, and he gave the media distraction, and they ran with it.
Well, exactly. I mean, I do think Donald Trump needs to stop. Sean Spicer needs to stop. They need to stop talking about crowd sizes. He needs to stop tweeting at 8 in the morning about voter fraud. He needs to stop. But an interesting thing about this is that the media is so intent on covering Donald Trump's tweets about voter fraud, but they had zero interest in covering Jay Johnson and the Department of Homeland Security when they, on January 6th, had that measure to move all state election systems as critical infrastructure, which would mean that they would be under federal purview. The feds would have this huge overreach of state rights. But you didn't see the media covering that. You didn't see them covering anything that had to do with Russia, anything. There was this moment where you look at that and you say, Jay Johnson's doing this, and this is a huge overreach. This should be big news. No one cares. But when Donald Trump tweets about wanting to stop dead people from voting, wanting to stop people from voting twice, wanting to stop illegal people from voting, it's the end of the world.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Investors have choices, don't they? They can believe the media narrative, or they can believe the outline of the president, right? Now, for today and for the moment, and maybe post his election, they seem to be putting their trust in him. They're actually waging money on it. What do you think?
Right. And so, again, I mean, I kind of want to say, Trump, you know, just stop tweeting. You don't need to do that anymore. But also you have to look at the media and say, this is the same thing they did during the primaries. This is the same thing they did during the general election. They attacked him. Everything was negative. Donald Trump could never do anything right. Sean Spicer mentioned that on his Monday press conference, that it's only negative coverage. And after a while, it just kind of beats you down. No one liked it. You had the New York Times being bashed by its readers for its negative coverage of Trump, its negative coverage of Sanders. They look at it and say, this isn't going to work out for the media to continue to cover Trump negatively at all aspects all the time. People don't like it. They got tired of it during the election, and they're going to get way more tired of it if all they see from other outlets is negative, negative, negative.
It's got to kill you, though, to make yourself look so insignificant that the markets are ignoring what you're saying. But we'll see. All right, thank you very, very much. Good catching up with you, as always, Katie.